All right, guys, ladies and gentlemen, teachers, parents, everyone. This is my last video for the night. Good morning. It is officially June 18th, Tuesday, the day of the exam. Good morning. Thank God it's the afternoon. I don't know what has kept me motivated to keep doing these videos, but to be honest, is your comments. Your comments really push me to finish my series because you guys need it. I want you to pass. I want New York State to have a higher pass rate than what we do now. Across the board, science, math, ELA, everything. You guys that have been watching my video, I'm going to go into a little rant. So if you don't want to hear my rant and my last piece of advice, skip maybe 5 minutes. But I suggest you stay and listen to my rant because this is my last video for the 2019 June 18th exam. Okay? So, thank you for the motivation. I'm very passionate at what I do. I love science. I wish I could have had you all as my students. But this is what I could do to feed the masses the information. So, last piece of advice over here. Now, here is some advice that it's crucial. It's besides you knowing the biological information to help you answer these questions. There's some other vectors and other things that can affect your performance. Number one, you have to bring your own toolkit. You have to come prepared. You cannot depend on others to make sure that you're okay. You have to make sure you're okay, which means bring your own pencil, mechanical pencil with a beautiful brand new eraser, not smudged, mechanical pencil so you don't have to worry about sharpening. Bring a gel, professional blue or black ink pen. Gel so that when you're writing, your wrist doesn't cramp up. Schools usually have the cheap pens. So with the cheap pens, your wrist is going to hurt like crazy after a couple of short responses, especially with your new knowledge that you're super ready to answer these questions. Bring a ruler and bring a non-graphing calculator. Non-graphing calculator is a simple calculator. All it has is plus, minus, divide, times. That's it. That's what you're allowed. If your school doesn't give it to you, make sure that you have those supplies for yourself. If not, you are not going to have the tools to take the exam. So first things first, bring your own writing utensils. Next, this one, we're going to do it soon. We're going to sleep soon. After this video, I know you're going to go to sleep. If not, hey, you will sleep many, many, many hours. Congratulate yourself to sleep hours after you take the test on next weekend. And you're young, you'll recover. 3, you gotta eat a healthy meal before the exam. Eat breakfast and a small snack, not a full lunch, a small snack, but for it to have enough calories to sustain a 3-hour exam. Bring a water bottle. Science is science, guys, and it is proven that energy drinks such as Monster or Red Bull would make you crash during the exam. It only is only a burst of energy. Do not eat heavy foods. Bacon, egg, and cheese, and big sandwiches with bacon and mayo and all that stuff. Find out, research, Google foods to eat before an exam. Just Google it. I don't have enough time to do a video on that, but it's out there. Look at the choices and pick something that you like. There's always like a top 10, top 20. So, but avoid energy drinks because you're going to crash. Bring your own bottle of water. Freeze it, put it in the freezer tonight, prepare it tonight, freeze it so that it's cold. So when you drink water, it's still cold and it's defrosting, but it's so cold that it gives you a burst of energy and it wakes you up if you start falling asleep. 4, guys, 85 points. All you need is 41 to get a 65. You need 41 points to get a 65. Do not leave blanks. Use educated biological science answers. If you leave something blank, you don't give the teacher a chance to give you a point. A lot of this stuff you can just answer without biological knowledge, and there are other things that you do need biological knowledge, but do not leave things blank. Read the question. Sometimes the answer's in the question. Sometimes the answers are in other questions. Haha. Number 5, show up early. It's an afternoon exam, meaning you missed the rush hour. Trains, we're in New York City. This is a New York State exam. So if you don't drive or have a car, which you should leave early anyways to avoid any kind of construction or traffic, if you live in the city, you better be in your school's neighborhood an hour before you're supposed to be there. In afternoon exams, they expect you to be there at the school by 11:30 or 12, depending on your school, but no later than 12:45. If you're an hour late, you cannot take the test. Then you got to go to summer school. Retake it in August. Unless your school's fine with you just coming in and as a walk-in. Find a coffee shop, find a place that doesn't mind that you go in there and just study. Watch my videos over and over again. Look at other people's videos. I see other videos that people post, those are probably good too. Bring what you need. It's going to be a long 3 hours. Bring money. Bring a phone charger to view videos, to view your notes, to view past exams, past practice exams. Have your phone fully charged. Connect your phone right now. Charge your phone. Bring water. Buy brain food. Next. Have a positive attitude. Make sure to just stay positive and know that if you studied all year, tried your best, it will be okay. Whatever your grade is in a week, whatever it is, if you passed or failed, you tried your best. If you're watching my videos, you are trying your best. You are trying. It is freaking 12:44 a.m. You are awake watching my video. You are trying your best. So even if you fail, look at the score that you have and try again. Try again in August. You fail in August, try again in January. But you do have to graduate by senior year. So if you fail an exam and you can't really do it on your own, have your parents reach out to me and let's work out a tutoring session in the tri-state area of New York City. If you live upstate New York, just let me know. Just let me know. We can work out a weekend, but I need to be in contact with your parents. And we'll figure out pricing for tutoring. We'll figure out days, times. But I honestly think you'll be okay. All right, guys. Let's begin our last push, starting with the reproductive system. Okay? This was another student request. So, let's start with number 32. And let me get my text. Here's my text box. Here we have a cell, an egg that has been fertilized by a sperm. When an egg and a sperm get together, a new organism is about to grow and develop. That from this moment, when it's just one cell, but the sperm had already entered the egg, this is called a zygote. What's going on here? Typewriter. Here. Whatever this is has to go. Number 1, a fertilized egg, let me give it more space, is a zygote. It's a fertilized egg that will start to grow and develop. that growth, that cell division for growth and development, do you remember what it is? Mitosis. Choice B. Let's go. Let's get this higher than 65 plus. Mitotic cell division. Who cares? What does without growth mean? Who cares? The key word is there. It's mitotic, mitosis, cell division. Next. This is a little doozy here. Start from the top. Base your answer to the following question on the diagram below, which represents some events in the reproduction of a typical vertebrate and on your knowledge of biology. Sperm and egg. Sperm and egg get together. That process here, fertilization. When sperm meets the egg is called fertilization. What is this called now? A zygote. D is a zygote. The zygote starts to grow and develop. This is called a blastocyte. Growing and developing, this is mitosis. This is also mitosis because it's just growing. The process represented by C is known as fertilization. That was easy. What is D? A zygote. What is the process E? Mitosis, because it's growing. Next. Identify one likely reason other than poaching and hunting for the decline of the elephant population. This is called, wait a minute. Okay, we'll get back to reproduction. I kind of mixed in some questions here. We'll get back. You know what? I'll come back to this. This is human impact on the ecosystem. Human impact. Oh, this is very important to talk about global warming and fossil fuels. I want to make sure you know what fossil fuels are. So I'm going to come back to this. So let's go straight into, see, fossil fuels? Let's go straight into reproduction. Okay? So let's go back to reproduction. This, my friends, is a male reproductive. Oh, guess what? It's right here in the question because we always start from the top. Guys, I'm getting tired. I'm getting tired. It's okay. We're going to get through this together. So, the male reproductive system is said in the question. Here's the male reproductive system. Now, I am going to take my pencil and I'm going to start labeling things. Testes. These are the testes, testicles. Sperm is made here. This is the vas deferens. This, I'm sorry, that's the epididymis. Let me take that off. Mature sperm is ready to be exited from the male reproductive system. Here is the vas, this tube is the vas deferens. When you boys don't want to have babies anymore, that you're done, you have all the kids that you want, you get what's called a vasectomy, and they cut these tubes off. So if you cut these tubes off, there won't be any fertilization because what the man ejaculates, what is released from the body, is a fluid made from the prostate gland, but it will not have any sperm because the sperm is what fertilizes the egg. So there will still be ejaculation happening, but there won't be any sperm in that fluid if the vasectomy was successful. So here's the bladder, where you find urine. And here in the middle of the penis is the urethra that serves for both the excretory system and the reproductive system. Okay. Which activity would be prevented by blockages of X and Y? X and Y being the vas deferens? The movement of sperm out the body. There won't be any movement of sperm out the body because it was blocked off. Next. Which structure produces cells that have the potential to become gametes? Gametes are sex cells, sperm and egg. Gametes is another word for your sex cells, sperm and egg. Egg female, sperm male. Which structure produces sex cells? The testes. They produce sperm. Done. Moving on. This is a very important diagram because this is probably asking about meiosis, sex cell division, okay? Which diagram best represents part of the process of sperm formation? Yep, sperm formation, where's my typewriter thing? There, is meiosis, which is sex cell division, making gametes, making eggs, making sperm. Meiosis. In meiosis, you start with one cell and with 4. The parent cell, which is the cell you started out with, is diploid, which has a full set of chromosomes, and the daughter cells are haploid. They only have half the number of chromosomes. Your mom gave you half, your dad gave you half, you have a full set. So, wait, let me just delete this. So, let's do the humans, for example. To make a human, humans have 46 chromosomes in your body cells. To make a human, the male must contribute half. In the sperm, sperm have half the number of chromosomes. What's half of 46? 23. Female, have eggs. Half of what you need for a human, 23, to equal the 46 to make a baby. Thanks for being in this world, guys. So, this one is not using humans. This was using some organism that has 8 chromosomes. This is probably a fruit fly. Which diagram best represents part of the process of sperm formation, meiosis, sex cell division in an organism that has a normal chromosome number of 8? Well, let's see. First of all, we know that it ends in 4 cells, so it's not this one, because this is just mitosis, cloning, asexual reproduction. This is not how it works. Wait. They probably skipped the process, but no, they didn't. No. This is not how it works, because if you start with 8, in meiosis, sex cell division, you should end with 4, but they are supposed to have half the number of chromosomes you started with. This is the parent cell. These are the daughter cells. This should have been 4. This is wrong, and this is correct. This is how it's correctly done, and that is the answer. You start off with the parent cell, 8 chromosomes. Meiosis step 1. You have the 2 cells, and then meiosis part 2, which you have the 4 sex cells. So this could be eggs, 4 eggs, or it could be 4 sperm. I'm just drawing the tails. Okay? Start with 1 in meiosis, sex cell division, start with 1, end with 4. Start with a full set of chromosomes, end with half a set of chromosomes. Next. The diagram of the female reproductive system. We're now at the female. Doesn't it look like a deer? Pretty, right? So, this is the front view of the female reproductive system. A are the ovaries. Ovaries make eggs, and it makes estrogen and progesterone in the female reproductive system. The female reproductive hormones. B, the fallopian tubes, you have 2. This is where the egg awaits and fertilization happens, here. C is the uterus, where the fetus grows and develops, and it's also the site of where the placenta grows. D is the birth canal, also known as vagina. Identify, now that we have all the information, identify the structure within which egg cell is normally fertilized. Fertilization happens in the fallopian tube. Hello. 45. If you block these fallopian tubes, which is also called tying your tubes, fertilization will not happen. The sperm and egg will not meet. So here it says, if the blockages of this type occur, the most likely result would be that the female gamete would not unite with the male gamete. Gamete is sex cells. Next. Oh, this is the side view of a female. The side view of the female represented in the diagram below. A, ovaries. B, fallopian tube. C, uterus. Vagina, birth canal. Bladder. Bladder. A heavy dose of radiation would have the greatest impact in genetic information in future offspring if it reached gametes, sex cells, developed in which structure? There's two important things happening here that I'm going to take my time and explain. They want to know about DNA, if you know what happens, how DNA mutations are caused, and how can you pass DNA mutations to your offspring. So radiation can affect your ovaries because that's where your sex cell / gametes are made. And those are the cells that you need to make a new organism. So, where are gametes made? In this case, in the ovaries, choice A. Moving on. Here's the side view of a male. Here's the penis, urethra, testes, scrotum, tube, vas deferens, bladder, prostate gland. Here we have the side view of the female. Ovaries, fallopian tube, uterus, where the baby grows, vagina, birth canal, bladder. After sperm cells are deposited inside the female, the pathway they follow to reach the egg is what? This is the vagina. The penis enters the vagina, fertilizes it. Ejaculates the sperm inside of the female reproductive system. So it starts with, let me get a pencil because this doesn't highlight. It starts with K, the birth canal, vagina. Then it goes in past I. Then it's I. It goes past inside the uterus, past the uterus. Then it goes to the fallopian tube and it stops here because that's where the egg is. So we need to find a choice that has K, then I, then H. K-I-H. Moving on. What is this? An ovary. Going through what's called ovulation, when an egg is released of an ovary, which is also called oogenesis. Oogenesis is also ovulation, when your beautiful ovaries is ready to pop out an egg to then wait for it in the fallopian tube. Look at this hot mess. Look at all of these little knickknacks here, but this is to answer two questions. This is the female reproductive system. In case you forget, the questions say it. Female reproductive system. In which structure will a fetus normally develop? In the uterus. Which one's the uterus? D. Good. Which process is represented at C? C is very tiny, but this is the egg. That's the sperm. Fertilization. And we're at the fallopian tube. Moving on. Pregnant lady. Internal fertilization normally takes place in the structure indicated by number 4. Fertilization happens in the fallopian tube. They throw you off of all these other things. Menstrual cycle. The chemical interactions in a human are shown in the graph below. So all of these are the other 2 female reproductive organs, hormones that's produced from your pituitary gland. The pituitary gland is right under your brain. This graph represented hormones and events in the reproductive cycle of females. estrogen, progesterone, LH, and FSH control the menstrual cycle. Moving on. The permanent cessation. Cessation means to end, to stop. It no longer happens. Of the menstrual cycle is known as menopause. Guys, this is when moms are angry. Hot flashes, check. Mood swings, check. No more menstrual cycle because they can't have kids anymore, so it brings them sadness. Sometimes, not all the time, check. I had a really hard time in high school because my mom was going through menopause when I was in high school. But she was fine. Okay, here we go with a different processes happening. Before you answer a question, let's just see what's going on here. We have a man and a woman. This man made sperm. Process A is meiosis. This woman made an egg. Process called meiosis to make sex cells. This and this got together and made this. This is fertilization. Stages. The stages labeled A, B, C are necessary to ensure that the offspring will inherit half of the chromosomes from each parent. Here we have a bunch of things again here. Sperm and egg, gametes, sex cells fuse together to make a zygote, a fertilized egg. Mitosis starts happening. Between which two letters does differentiation occur? D and E. Differentiation is when cells start to differentiate themselves from each other. They start to become different, especially with this guy over here. Okay? Those cells are going to become skin cells, nerve cells, bone cells, muscle cells. Differentiation means that the cells are going to start producing different proteins. DNA is going to start switching on and off. Okay? And then it starts growing into a human, if that's a human. 56. Students have shown that children are especially vulnerable to the effects of UV radiation, ultraviolet. Tanning beds expose the skin to nearly 10 times as much UV radiation as natural sunlight. With that knowledge, a law was passed in the New York State to prevent individuals under the age of 18 from using tanning beds. Which statement best explains why UV radiation is so harmful? It can cause cancer, and cancer is a mutation in its DNA. Cancer is the overproduction, overgrowth of cells. They have DNA mutations caused by some kind of environmental toxic factor, usually radiation. They destroy the DNA, and yeah, cancer is a DNA mutation and it causes overgrowth. Next. 57. Some human body systems are represented in the diagram below. Okay? In which structures would the occurrence of mutations have the greatest effect on human evolution? In order for you to have evolution, you have to have more children and babies so that they can evolve and then have another generation and another generation. So if they're talking about having children, how can you pass on a mutation? You pass it on through your sex cells because that's where your gametes are to make a baby. So the best answer for this is 3 and 6. Next. Oh, we're done. We're done, guys. Oh my gosh, good luck, good luck, good luck. Few hours. You got this. You saw all my videos. You're probably going to see some again. It is time for you to take a very rewarding bath, shower, whatever the case may be. Get yourself into your most comfy PJs. Turn on the AC at a comfortable, if you have an AC, or crack the window open just a little. Get snugly into your bed and sleep with a smile because you did your best. You did what you could. This is Miss Taveras signing off. To my students, I love you guys. Had an amazing year with you. Good luck. Do your thing. You'll be all right. I'll see you next year as sophomores. Woohoo!